Well, hello, my lovely Sagittarians. I'm going to do your long reading. It is officially April. This is after midnight where I'm at. So, let's get some cards for you. I'm going to do my therapy disclaimer. I am a therapist, but in no way can this take the place of a therapy session, even though I do give some advice when I see mental health kinds of things in the read. Um, You can call or text 988 24/7 365 if you need to talk to a therapist. Um, Also, there's lots of options for therapy, whether you are insured or not. So look for those things locally. Most states require that the therapist be licensed in the state that you live in. You have to reside in the state, but the therapist may not have to. I think there's one or two states where the therapist has to be in the state. But anyway, that's just a little bit of information about that. As far as gender read in tarot, or in divination in particular, we might say divine masculine or feminine. We're not necessarily talking about gender. There's a spectrum of that in tarot, just like there is in real life. Most people have a spectrum from divine masculine to divine feminine. We all have traits of the whole spectrum of gender within us. I have a lot of masculine in my chart, so I come across as some of my partners have told me I'm a dude before, whatever. But sometimes we're more in our feminine. I've definitely gone between the two. I'm kind of balancing out right now between the two. So you might be experiencing that as well. I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. So let's look at your base read. So I just kind of wanted to say those things because roles can kind of switch in tarot. I might be reading, this is a collective general reading. So I might pick up on your energy or the energy of those folks around you or that are in your environment. You might have different kinds of relationships, and I might pick up on those. And I'm talking about open monogamy and polyamory, different things like that. If I see it, I'll talk about it. But at the base level, let's talk about your read. There's a lot of communication happening for you right now. I feel like you're getting a lot of incoming people from your past. You're meeting new people. You're very, very magnetic right now. And so that right in your current or recent past, you've got the Eight of Wands, which is, it's swiftness, but it's also a communication card. And you see how those things look like they're kind of coming towards her and she's looking away. It's like you don't necessarily want all of it, so you might be protecting yourself. You also have Eight of Cups in your home environment, like you're walking away. Some of you may have moved away from home, or moved away from a situation. Five of Swords in the near future position. So there's some conflict that you're either involved in now or that's coming up for you. King of Cups in the current or recent past to near future position. So you might be dealing with a water sign, or you might be a Scorpio, Sagittarius, Cusper as well. But this is a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer card, the King of Cups. Hierophant is a Taurus card. That's also about kind of reconnecting to values, or it can mean a lot of things. I kind of want to clarify that because I don't want to dig too much in that. I'm getting kind of walking your own path based on your values, like your true north kind of thing is what I'm getting. That's going to cause some kind of conflict for you though with that Five of Swords. But also, Five of Swords, you see how they're holding these swords and there are people walking away. It's like people aren't really going to confront you right now, or if they do, it's not good. And then you've got Knight of Swords in the outcome, which is a very fast moving card. There's Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which is interesting. I'm grabbing my I forgot to put my ring on, and I need it. So there's an Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So some of you have some new love coming in. Um, but you might have a lot of choices. And so, because you're having all this communication, underneath that, yeah, Two of Wands. So some of you are definitely getting into a new partnership and ending an old one. This is also maybe about choosing yourself with that Two of Wands and then Judgment card right there. Yeah, definitely a completion of a cycle with the World underneath that. I mean, some of you have really been cutting out negative attachments. So you might be a Scorpio, Sagittarius cusper, and that was definitely a part of the Scorpio read. You might go back and read that about ending some negative attachments and patterns. So let's clarify. I feel like there is a lot here, Sagittarius. You have a lot of... there's just a lot. You're making... I feel like some of you are maybe getting into kind of an isolation mode where you're really protecting your energy. Like I'm getting a real hermit feeling from this read. There's not a hermit here, but I'm really feeling that. So let's clarify. We'll start with the clarifying that Eight of Wands. I'm getting like the judge robe in the scrying bowl, so maybe that also could mean judgment again, but I think maybe some of you have some legal stuff, maybe even custody with children, that you're really focused on that and not about any of these. Like, there's a lot of people giving you attention right now, good and bad. Some of it very unwanted, I think. That's what I'm feeling. It's almost like some of you feel like you could just get in the car and like drive off to Mexico, or well, Sagittarius likes to travel, right? We like to pick up and move around. I say we, because I do have my rising and moon is Sagittarius, and so emotionally, a lot of times I like to escape, because there's that adventurer in there, and you might be feeling that. That might be part of what that Eight of Wands feeling is too. Let's look at that though. Some of you are definitely completing a karmic cycle. There's so much of that going on right now though with this. It's this year though. It's this year. This is a year of completing cycles. Knight of Cups. Yeah, you're definitely getting some love offers, but you're healing. That Four of Swords. Some of you have a very healing relationship coming into you. So it could be romantic, could be just a friendship. But, and some of you are wanting to spend time, and again, I got this in Scorpio, just wanting to spend time with your loved ones, like kids, grandkids, family, very, very close friends, and not spreading yourself too thin with other, more shallow relationships. You're really wanting a deeper emotional connection with people. Like soul connection type stuff, not not any, like, you're like, no, with the shallow. Yeah, with the Six of Pentacles and the Judgment, definitely some of you have ended some relationships, karmic type relationships, for sure. The bottom of the deck, you've got the Chariot. Some of you are moving swiftly away. Some of you are leaving for a job or school. So maybe going off to college, or thinking about where you're going to go off to college. I mean, we're getting close to the end of a semester, so some of you might be graduating soon and leaving for a job or college, one of the two. Those decisions are kind of made during this time of the year, so that's very likely. Or some kind of other training, job training type stuff, where you're traveling for that. And Chariot's fastest moving card in the deck, so some of you are definitely, so Eight of Cups in the home spot, and that's a Scorpio card. Death is a Scorpio card. So definitely transformation. You're keeping it pretty quiet, but definitely some of you are moving with that Six of Swords. Five of Cups. Yeah, heavily disappointed in some relationships. Some people it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could be friendships. It could be family. But you're cutting off some ties because you were disappointed. like profoundly disappointed is the feeling. And you're going to move on to calmer waters. But it's still causing conflict. King of Swords, you're in a very logical brain space. I feel like this is you. Now this is a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius card, so some of you could be dealing with some of those signs, but there's part of me that feels like you're getting very logical and cutting out things, negative attachments. Yeah. You're really wanting to move forward into calmer waters. Queen of Wands under that, and that very well could be you as a fire sign. You're very magnetic and sexy right now. So people are... the world, yeah, you know, with the world, I think you might be starting a relationship with somebody who's off at a distance, and you're considering moving towards them, and it feels like a soul connection. The Wheel of Fortune was right under that too. Let's clarify the Five of Swords. So some of you are meeting someone that you're having to travel to, or you're talking online to. So I said clarify the five. I kind of wanted to clarify the King of Cups first, but I'm going to clarify that Five of Swords because that's what I said and that's what I'm shuffling for. So let me clarify that first. And then we'll go back to that King of Cups. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Ancestors. Let's clarify for Sagittarius, please. Woo, that was a book. I'm not taking that big book, but we'll take, the Eight of Cups in reverse. Some of you are going to go right back into that conflict. But you're thinking differently about it with the Hanged Man in reverse. Four of Cups. Okay, look. I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's not my job. You have free will. But some of you are heading right back into a conflict. Or the new relationship is going to be just like the old one because you didn't learn the lesson. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to clarify the King of Cups. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I'm seeing if you go back to that situation because somebody has the ability to make you feel bad about it, or you have some attachment thing where it's hard for you to walk away. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that this is highly likely. It's, if you don't fix the stuff, right, the patterns repeat. I'll say it that way. Some of you that may have some trauma, and I'm saying this as a therapist, you might need to do some shadow work and you might really need to dig in to that trauma so that you're not repeating these patterns, because we cannot heal in a toxic environment, okay? It's nearly impossible to do that. You know, we need to have a flourishing environment to flourish in. And so going back to a toxic environment, or staying in a toxic environment, it's incredibly difficult to heal. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Ancestors. Can I clarify this King of Cups, please? Somebody says all the right words. I mean, I'm just getting that coming through really strongly. Somebody says all the right words, and whereas you're thinking logically right now, when you get into that, you're battling the head and the heart, right? So conflict. Someone has some emotional difficulties, okay? King of Pentacles. They want stability and you want stability. Some of you also might be a Sagittarian Capricorn cusp. You have a choice between a couple of people, and one is a destiny for you, and the other one is very manipulative and says all the right words and has the ability to pull at your heartstrings. One you might even be married to with that Hierophant card there. Let's clarify that. So a person that you have a long-term situation with is coming towards you, and highly likely that there's communication there. You know you're in your situation. I don't know your situation, but I feel like sometimes, so for some of you, it's one person, and sometimes they're wonderful, and sometimes they are toxic. And when things get where you feel stable, then something happens to to cause the boat to rock, right? It's like somebody doesn't, it's like maybe they come from a situation where it was so chaotic that when things get calm, they cause drama because they don't know how to be in a calm place, right? Some of you have a choice between two people. One of them is very manipulative, and the other one is more stable, but maybe not as passionate. And so you're battling between these two ideas. Definitely an ending with one, but one of the, so you're trying to choose between chaos and then having the Ten of Cups. I'm going to clarify more on that in a minute with my personal deck, but let's get some clarifiers on the outcome with the Knight of Swords. So Page of Cups, somebody is coming in with some real immature energy with an offer that's not good enough, and they're quickly coming in to do that. Now look, they have free will, so maybe they control the situation by putting you out in the cold and not communicating with you, or maybe you're doing that. It could be both sides. We can all do that, right? We all have, like, I don't want to deal with that right now, so I'm not going to message that person or whatever. Okay, a choice between two, there's two paths. This can also be about reconciliation, but some of you, you're trying to break a negative attachment to someone, and it's incredibly hard. I think maybe you feel like it's a twin flame situation, and maybe it is. Maybe we'll get that clarified with the personal deck, but for some of you, it's a false flame situation. It's a karmic. Queen of Cups. So Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Some of you, it's a karmic. It's not, it's a lesson, right? And it's a cycle that you keep repeating over and over and over again. At the bottom of the deck, we've got Seven of Pentacles. You have divine timing here. But you're one of them you are just absolutely manipulated by. That's a Capricorn card, the Devil. But Knight of Wands can talk about being fickle-minded. Timing is off for one of these partnerships. It's just, you have the Fool here, where I think that's really truly feeling foolish, not taking a risk. I think the risk would be choosing yourself and walking your path of destiny. Yeah, there's just like immature messages where somebody is putting the fault on you. And, for some of you, possibly it's you, right? And I would say focus on your own healing, because I think that you're trying to, but there's like somebody that's so inconsistent and back and forth with you that you really don't know what to do with it. And some of you are struggling deciding between two people. It's the head and the heart. One is a logical, practical choice, and the other one's a very emotional one, but they're both causing a stir-up of emotion. It's like you complete a cycle and then you walk right back into it. Let's clarify. So, root chakra. Yeah, some of you are feeling very unstable right now, and so root chakra, it's connected to the color red. When our root chakra is out of balance, we can have a lot of anxiety, we can have nightmares, we can feel very unstable. So it's about creating a sense of stability for yourself, which I think is what you're trying to do. Irreplaceable by Beyonce card. This is about believing in yourself. It's also, I can have another you by tomorrow, right? Somebody thinks that you're irreplaceable. But then they don't treat you thus, right? Maybe like, oh, I love you, I want you, and then push you away. Definitely could be dealing with the Cancer. This is a Moonstone card. Creativity, intuition, feminine energy, balance of emotions, restoration, Motherly protection, new beginnings, and inner wisdom. Some of you, your intuition may be a little blocked right now with this energy going on. It's like you have two chaotic energies around you, but one of them is more stable, but boring, perhaps. And the other one is, boring is so mean. I don't like, it's just not firing and passionate and intense. And Sagittarians typically like very intense relationships. And the other one is fiery and passionate and intense, but very unstable. You have the 46 and 2 by Tool card, which is about the personal evolution revolution, self-growth, what is ahead of you. It's about the Jungian theory. Remember I said do some shadow work or inner child work? This is very much what this card is about. And transformation, right? Step into my shadow, coming out the other side. Step into the shadow, 46 and 2 are just ahead of me. You should read the lyrics to that song. It's very much based on Jung's shadow theory. Soul connection. I feel like that's just, you need to connect to your soul. You or someone around you feels like, I am not enough for you. I can never give you what you need. You either feel this about someone or someone feels this about you. And, you know, there's a lot of self-fulfilling prophecy in this. It's like maybe you've been in your head, you know, Humble by Kendrick Lamar. Somebody's real full of them. So there might be a narcissist for some of you that it says, sit down, bitch, be humble. It's also about taking a step back and knowing your own worth, right? But I'm really feeling like somebody's dealing with a narcissist, and I got this heavily in a couple of other readings. Like I think I said that in the Scorpio read. Ooh, that was a lot of cards. So some of you maybe were in love with somebody and you were getting best friend energy, or you had to turn down an offer if somebody admitted their love to you. And that turned into somebody being really, it's an emotional risk gone wrong, basically. You might have been the one that did that, made an offer of love or told someone how you felt, and they were like, oh, well, you're my friend, you know, which, like, I've been there. That really sucks. It does suck to be the person that gets turned down, right? So this is the Garnet Capricorn card, glowing fire. Like I said, some of you may be on the cusp, or you might be dealing with a Capricorn. Brings fire and warmth, stirs up the inner chi, regal, safe and tethered, emotional growth, strength, and balance. So Moldavite. Some of you, this is like the Tower. The Moldavite card is like the Tower. But it's incredible change, right? What the Tower does when we go through a Tower moment is then there's a rebalancing of things after, right? And so even though the Tower moment really sucks, and it's horribly painful usually, the other side of it is really good because things balance out and you have, like, you know, what I would call like a safe zone time where things aren't as dramatic and they're much more chilled out. And so this is also about ascension. Some of you, if you have balanced your karma out, you know, if justice has happened for you, the Tower moment has happened and you've walked away from some stuff, then you're possibly ascending or gone through ascension, right? This is about an open heart chakra, traveled far and wide, which a lot of Sagittarians love to travel. This is kind of like phoenix energy, rejuvenation. You know, Moldavite comes from a meteor, right? So it's highly spiritual. But it's not necessarily a great moment to go through, right? Emotionally, it feels very chaotic and like, you know, like if you've ever truly had a broken heart, you know what I'm talking about. That's a Tower moment, right? Where we have to learn to love ourselves and grow and all of those things. Let's get some more clarifiers for Sagittarius, please. So Scorpio energy, topaz, positivity, warmth, growth, calmness, wealth and abundance, passion and purpose, personal power, ambition, resolution, overcoming obstacles, and clarity. Some of you are definitely stepping into spiritual gifts, or, you know, just really healing, you know, could just be about healing. Yeah, definitely. You got the one moment in time, Whitney Houston. And this is about racing with destiny. You're more than you thought you could be. You're stronger than you thought you were, right? Let's clarify this outcome. Choice between two different paths in front of you. Two different people for some of you. But for some of you, it's like a whole life path that you need to choose. Yeah, someone's probably checking on your social media. If you live close, maybe driving by. It's also about looking deeper within yourself too, right? Noticing your own things that you need to change and working on those things. But some of you definitely have some very chaotic people around you that kind of stir up, they stir the pot. Things get calm and they stir it up. Soul Star Chakra, this is about your soul's destiny. Karmic blueprint, okay? So some of you are definitely dealing with a karmic, and this is about spiritual wisdom, past lives. Karmics come into our lives for us. That's a test, basically. I don't really like saying that. It's like, why do I have to be tested, But we do get tested. It's also about kind of learning unconditional love, or spiritual, universal love and spiritual wisdom. Let's get a couple more clarifiers for Sagittarius. So, I attract that which I deserve from the universe. It's karma. Good or bad karma, right? It kind of depends. But a lot of you that are completing those cycles, you're starting to get the rewards, okay? Which is why you had that 7 of Pentacles up there somewhere. That's about rewards for hard work, right? So, Taurus energy, the emerald, this is about, it could be associated also with the heart chakra. It's about balance, generosity, expressing love, higher energy, truth. The heart chakra is about unconditional love, but it's also, don't forget whenever you're saying you love everyone, you're part of everyone, right? We don't talk about Bruno's, the Encanto cast song, Old Secrets Come Out. Hidden magic, family secrets. You might be finding out about some family inheritances, spiritual gifts, or possibly land, money that you didn't know about previously. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Some of you are dealing with those signs, or maybe on the cusp. I just feel like I want a couple more. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. Let's get a couple more cards. Okay, thank you. So solar plexus chakra. This is about confidence, personal power, self-esteem, healing from the past, right? Fire and sun. You definitely, as a Sagittarius, are fire, right? Solar plexus chakra. That's associated with yellow. It's your 3rd chakra. And look, you deserve the best. And part of that is being the best, right? And you're learning what you need. And, with the sympathy for the devil at the bottom, Rolling Stones, right? What's confusing you is the nature of my game. There is somebody that just really plays games. That's kind of who they are as a person. And you've been drug into that in some way. So you're learning how to walk away from those negative attachments. This is a time where you're learning, healing, growing, figuring out what you need, figuring out your soul's purpose. So this may sound kind of negative as a read, but it's really not. Because the tower's not here. So I feel like you've already gone through the tower moment, but some of you are in danger of going back into the same situation or the same kind of situation. So it's about choosing the healing path rather than repeating a cycle. Right? It's kind of a warning. Like, don't repeat that cycle. You've gotten out of it, right? You've gone through the tower moment. You've got judgment in the world in here, and 4 of Wands. That's definitely completion of a cycle. So I'm going to get some personal oracle cards for you for some advice from our spirit guides and angels and ancestors for you, Sagittarius. Oftentimes when we're trying to help someone heal, we end up getting really hurt in the process. And I feel like some of you were really trying to help somebody and ended up getting really manipulated and hurt in the process. And you're learning how to have boundaries with people so that, you know, I, as a therapist, had to learn how to do that. And like, that's my job. I shouldn't take home people to heal. I just need to do that at work, right? So it can be really difficult to set boundaries with people, and people will absolutely refuse to hold your boundaries. And sometimes we soften those, and we have to learn how to hold them. It's never the changes we want that change everything. It's true. 666, alter focus, ground yourself, growth and development. So you're definitely learning and changing. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light. That is about, you know, don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. Let's get some more cards for Sagittarius, please. Memory can make a thing seem much more than it was. Good or bad, right? Sometimes we don't remember how tough it was with a certain situation or a certain person. Sometimes we make things out to be better than they were or worse than they were, right? Step out of your comfort zone and transform. Read and learn. I mean, I think that you all are doing these. Sit with it. You know, really think about what is good for you, and whether, you know, communication is connection. That really tells me to reach out to people that you trust and process through what's been going on with you. Let's get a couple more. No one's sex parts are going to heal your soul. It's on you. So true. I know sex is good. I mean, definitely can be, right? I mean, and sex can be healing. There's that whole, you know, sexual healing. But it can also be a maladaptive coping skill. It can be harmful to us if we're using it as a vice, right? I'm not judging anybody's sex lives, by the way. I would never do that. But the next card out is Seek a Professional. So I'm getting real sex addict. Maybe you're dealing with one, or you could be one. And again, not judging. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if it's causing distress in your life, maybe seek a professional, okay? And, you know, really process through, what do you need? What do you need to do to heal? Because I feel like you were really dealing with somebody very chaotic, like a chaos magic or chaos energy surrounding them. I'm going to get a few more cards for Sagittarius, please. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. Let's get a few more cards for Sagittarius. The cards are like, I've given you lots of advice here. What are you asking for, lady? Okay. So, some of you possibly have bipolar disorder or personality disorders, or we're dealing with someone with those disorders, okay? Failure is just practice. It's really like, look, we're all going to make mistakes, and it's really like, can you learn from that? Some of you, if your mother has passed on, she's with you, but some of you call your mom, or a mother figure, okay? We accept the love we think we deserve. That's an ouch one, right? But we teach people how to treat us, and sometimes we accept love that you had the card that said, I deserve the best. And some of you have been not getting the best from people. Freeing yourself was one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self was another. That really means that, you know, some of you be careful not to walk back into those cycles, those karmic cycles, right? Trauma is a fact of life. It does not, however, have to be a life sentence. We can heal from trauma. Does that mean that we forget it? No. Do we ever not grieve someone that we deeply loved and lost? We will always grieve them, but we grow around the grief, right? So for some of you, you're dealing with a lot of past stuff, and my heart is with you, because, you know, I mean, I've been through stuff too. We all have to heal from things from our past. No one gets out of life without scars on them. And so you are dealing with some people that do not want to let you go. You're also attracting other people as you heal. And so you might just be inundated with a lot of different energies right now. And that's why you're really, like I said, I was getting this hermit energy, even though that card didn't fall, where you're wanting to kind of run away from that. And so Sagittarians, you know, we'll hit the road, Jack. I mean, we'll go travel and And I'm a Taurus sun, but again, Sagittarius rising and moon, and so emotionally I get it, right? That feeling of needing to escape. And so, maybe take a little trip, but, maybe go see someone you care about. Definitely you need to process through some things and sit with some things before you make some big decisions. Because I feel like there's two paths in front of you. And, so, talk to some people that you trust. Seek a professional. You got the wolf card. Creation, healing, purification. It's a beautiful wolf. Although portrayed as a marauding villain in many European cultures, wolves are deities in Native American cosmologies and are a popular totem. Like the raven, which also appears in this painting, the wolf is a hero and creator. In some legends, she is the trickster sibling of the coyote. The Quileute and Makah of the Pacific Northwest ascribe healing power to the wolf. I don't know if I said those correctly, and if I did not, I apologize. Ascribe healing power to the wolf and perform a wolf dance in the skin of the animal to cure the sick. In the early Roman cult of Lupa, or Feronia, the great she-wolf, also known as the mother of wolves, was the divine midwife and matriarch of the ancestral spirits. She was honored in an annual festival of the she-wolf and was invoked in purification rituals. In the Roman legend of Romulus and Remus, a wolf nurses the two heroes and restores their strength. Somebody does not want me to give you this message. Woo! I gotta get a drink. That's the first time that's happened in a while where my throat chakra got a little bit blocked. So I'm going to pull some runes for you. Somebody does not want me to say that they're chaotic and causing you problems. Somebody is a thorn in your side and causing you to be stuck and delayed. I can tell you that right off. I'm going to look at the rune descriptions for you, though. The first one is Thurisaz, which is also can be Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. But it literally translates to like a thorn in the side. It's about protection and luck. It can herald a stroke of unexpected good luck, but you've got delays, and some of you may have some vehicle issues or don't have the ability to get away from a situation. It's talking about how you could receive a rude awakening at this time. Take stock of your situation and evaluate where you really stand before recklessly plunging onward. What did I say? Sit with it, right? That was very strong. Sit with it. Think a while. Call someone and talk to them. You would do well to postpone any endeavor for the duration of the runecast time frame. Now, these reads are timeless, but, whenever you come across it, I would say, these reads can be anywhere from several weeks in the past to several weeks in the future. If you're called upon to make a decision, seriously consider, right? Call someone that you trust and talk about it. If the negative aspects are in evidence, aka the thorn in the side and not Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, you could be opposed by people who are morally, politically, or financially stronger than yourself. It may or may not last depending on the helpfulness of the surrounding runes, which are not very helpful in this case, sadly. So I'm going to say again, lean on some people around you that could offer good advice. I'm going to read Hegel to you. It's one of the delay runes, so it represents forces outside of your control. So you may be dealing with some entities in maybe a work situation or even a family situation where there are just things happening that are completely out of your control. It can be elemental disruption, right? Weather, for instance. It might either be good or bad, the disruption, but due to the fact that forces bearing upon your life at this time are mostly impersonal ones, it usually takes on a negative tone. Delays aren't always bad, though. Sometimes that's about divine timing and that it's not the right time for something to occur. You need to have healing time, right? You may be thinking of taking a risk of some sort. I'm telling you, with Rido in reverse and the thorn in your side, I think and it's saying risks and gambles should be avoided right now. So your future at this time might possibly be in the hands of another. I'm really getting a feeling of like a custody case for some of you, and it the other caregiver in the situation of the children in question definitely puts your fate in the hands of someone else, right? Like a judge or a court system, right? It can be it says this another can be a faceless official or someone with no personal interest in you whatsoever. You will learn of this control in a secondhand fashion or through an official letter. Time is not right for any new starts necessarily, so there's just a lot of limitation and delay. Um, so let's look at Rido in reverse too. So a journey that you must undertake, even though it may come at an unexpected time for an unexpected reason. Can show a visit to a sick friend or relation, but occasionally will show other people coming to visit you at a bad time. Can indicate problems in transit, delays, breakdowns, even an accident. Look to surrounding ruins. I mean, there's so many delays in this right now. Commercial transactions or negotiations that you may be contemplating, or personal relationship changes. They may come out on the bad end, right? Try extra hard to be patient. Um, so I'm going to say again, call a friend and process through any changes that you're thinking about making, to think about things that you may not be occurring to you. Okay. So right now you're kind of in a stasis, like that, like the Hanged Man was, in reverse, which means that you're not in suspension, is what that means, but you're not being introspective. So you might be taking some risks that are causing issues for you. And I just feel like there is a person around you that is really chaotic and narcissistic. I mean, I'm feeling that very strongly. So you're trying to close out a cycle, and this person is. So if you do magic work, you might do some kind of cord cutting, or you might look into that. If you got a witchy friend, you might call them up and say, hey, can you help me out with this, please? Do a cord cutting, or there's different things you can do too. But Google is a great way to figure that out. But also friends that might be into magic, and find some ways to help yourself out of a situation where you've got someone or a really negative energy attached to you. For some of you, it very well might be a negative energy attached to you. You might need to do some cleansing. Let's see what the fairy guides tell us. Travel. Of all the things you can do, travel is in the cards for you. Now, you got Rido in reverse, so if you've been planning a trip, that might be delayed. It also can be a metaphorical journey, okay? A journey of the soul, if you will. Learn. A little nudge. It's now your turn. Put on your thinking cap. It's time to learn. You need more information. Definitely. You need more information before you make a decision. You did get the Page of Pentacles somewhere in there. That's the apprentice or study. Play. Step outside and feel the sun. Breathe the air. Play. Have some fun. It's kind of, like you have to have self-care, right? Peace. Friends and family and those who care. Peace is yours today to share. Definitely reach out to those people that love you. Let's get a couple more cards from our fairy friends. Thank you, fairy guides. Can we get a couple more cards for Sagittarius? Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. All right, we got a few here. Celebrate. The time is right to shout out loud. Don't hesitate to jump around. I almost feel like this is about being grateful. Support. There's always help around when you ask. It can be found. So reach out for that support. Keep going. The world at times is big and loud, but we'll make sure you're safe and sound. So you definitely have spirit guides and ancestors. Butterflies is at the bottom, and it says, whenever you see a butterfly flutter through the grass, it is to remind you of the love of those who've passed. So I pulled a lot of those because I think that they're good advice. But also, you are on a journey of some kind, and you're working really, really hard to get through a situation. You really do need to worry about you need to think about self-care. Do really good self-care. Self-care is not just bubble baths, right? It's also brushing our teeth, taking a shower, going to the doctor, having good sleep, connecting with those people that we love us, that are good to us. And there seems to be a lot of chaos energy around you, or people asking you for a lot. That's part of it too, is that maybe there's a lot of people asking you for things and it's wearing you out. So Sagittarius, the big takeaway from this read is you're a little bit worn out from situations and people around you. Lean on those people who pour into your cup too. I feel like you've been doing a lot for people, and maybe some of you are dealing with some unjust situations and people that are manipulative, unhealed, etc., etc., etc. Please take care of yourself. These reads are not like end all be all. Not all of this is going to resonate with you, but tarot reads can be super helpful to you to think about consequences of things or decisions that you might need to make, right? I hope that this was helpful in giving you some direction with what you're experiencing. I do see new love for some of you, new love coming towards you. But again, watch for those red flags, because some of you are repeating cycles. And I understand. I did for a long time too. And I finally went through that what they might call the dark night of the soul, or the ego death, and I put boundaries up on people, and they sure did not like it. But it was really healthy for me. So you might be going through that right now, even though I didn't see the tower. I think maybe you've already gone through the tower moment, or it's coming and it's just not showing up yet. So again, Sagittarius, I wish you the best. I hope that there was some helpful information in here for you. I'm sending you many blessings and love and light. This is Lady Scarlet. I do hope to see you soon.